most optimum fuel mileage right now. What I want to show you in this short video is the engine braking and how they've really changed it with this ishift transmission. If you look here just behind the steering wheel, there's a small lever. It's a 5-position engine brake. So right at the top is engine brake off. When I move it down 1, that's engine brake when I'm depressing the brake. Engine brake will come on. Plus as well, that turns on what's called the eco roll feature. We'll see how the engine will actually kick out of gear when we're going down a hill and not keep the engine at the high RPMs. It'll go down to idle and let us coast down the hill. And then there's also a 1, 2, and a 3rd engine brake position. So there's some very strong engine brake capabilities in the truck. Okay, quiet on the set.
I don't really know what to say.
I just click this button and it makes it move. And I like it. It's really cool.
It shifts much quicker than the last transmission that we had. It's way smoother and there's less delay when you come to a stop for it to get into the lower gear to start going again. It drives more like a pickup, the shifting than our last truck that we were driving. I like the way it you can adjust depending on how steep it is. You can adjust the different level of braking you want just by flicking the switch, and it's right by your fingertips. And it has other different features. It has multiple different features that you can switch to for depending on the road you're driving on. Also, when you're climbing a steep hill and you want the truck to shift down a gear, and rather than wait for it to do so on its own choice, you can put the pedal down, kick it down, and it'll shift for you, automatically shift down a gear. So you can, because you can see the road coming up that you're going to need a lower gear sooner, you can choose that by stomping on the pedal and kicking it down.
Well, we've got cruise control off. We're in top gear. We're about 95 kilometers an hour. Kerry's just using her foot. You can see the RPMs are up a little bit right now. We've got a downhill section coming, and you'll see that the RPMs have dropped right down to idle speed. So Kerry's got her foot off the throttle right now. See? Foot off the throttle. And we're accelerating just a tiny bit. We're still holding at 105. We're going to reach the bottom of the hill now. Kerry's going to put her foot back on the throttle. And the RPMs will pick back up to where they were before. There's an example of the eco roll. And as usual, our carpet on the floor is chipped. At this moment, he's awake. Heather's giving him a scratch.
No putting this on the video. Hello.
So we're back in Golden this time with our ishift transmission. Going through the windy bit. Let's see how it works in the opposite direction heading east. So we're in 12th gear right now. Got eco roll on, so we just went down to neutral. So we're coasting right now in neutral. probably the fastest part. We're going to slow down here pretty quick. So down here on the steering wheel, I've turned on the engine brake. That's in its lowest position, position 1. Shift it up again to 11. Just listen to the RPMs, how low they are. With the gears that this truck picks. You would never think you could run at these low RPMs, but this truck has no problem pulling our trailer and our gear along at the low 1,000 RPMs. We're in 11th gear right now, doing 70 kilometers an hour, about 40 miles an hour, uphill. It's amazing the power that's in this truck and how it can just cruise up these hills. Haven't touched the brakes once yet. We'll just let Heather continue to look out the front window and see the windy road. Now pretty soon here, we've got a really big downhill. And I'll turn on the engine brake and I'll adjust it between the most powerful and the weakest settings. Now we got some people looking at wildlife on the side of the road here. You never know when you need to brake here in Rocky Mountains. Sorry, as I was saying, we've got a pretty good downhill spot in just a moment. I'll turn on the engine brake to hold us at whatever speed we want. Top gear, 900 RPMs, 70 kilometers an hour. Now we start our downhill. When we turn on the engine brake, it's automatically geared down for us. We're slowing down quite a bit, so I'll ease off on it. So that's position 2. Big downhill here. It's holding us at exactly 55. I'm going to back off a little bit. That's position 1. Probably the weakest engine brake. A little bit of acceleration up towards 60 kilometers an hour. I've got some vehicles pretty close on my tail here, so I won't do too much engine braking. Here's what we'll do. We're going to turn off the engine brake, go into eco roll. So there's neutral. Catching up speed. We're now 55 miles an hour, about 90 kilometers an hour, and haven't hit the bottom yet. Still in neutral. Okay, so here's the big hill. Heading eastbound. brake comes on to hold us back because we're picking up too much speed. Back into eco roll, neutral. Bottom of the hill, throttles back on. There's the bridge we're going to cross over up above. You can see we're going to gain quite a bit of altitude. Watching our video. If you want a truck, you know how to find us, rvhaulers.ca.